Okay. I think we're streaming. I think we're good. So, I'm just gonna kind of do my thing. I might talk through some of the harder stuff. But if anyone ends up popping into chat, feel free to ask any questions. And yeah, let's do this, right? So, help if I open my project on my Go map for this, wouldn't it? I think it's that one. Yeah, this is where I left off. Let's actually... I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, now that that's shared, we're going to start. Alright, so this is showing us Lastomyces. I actually don't know about this one. It's 5 centimeters. Might just be a really desiccated one. Kept cracking. Hmm. Yeah, okay. I think that's reasonable. So, it is described from help if I could spell. Great Britain. Danny is right. We have some European sequence. One European sequence. Hmm. Germany. 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 That's 95. Hello. Let's try this again. That should not be happening. So this should be, what I'm doing should be blasting to everything that's under Larachiomyces persivalii in GenBank, and now it's working. GenBank's just been on the fritz recently. But yeah, there seems to be fairly decent consensus on these. Though a lot of them are INAT ones, but still, even the non-INAT ones have good concurrence. So I'm just gonna double check his nucleotides and then get this uploaded. I swear, like, half of my job is waiting for websites to load sometimes. Which is okay, it's just kinda funny. Hi. Gymnopus. Yeah, okay. Maybe. Hmm. Great. Not what I need right now. Yeah. I'm going to guess this one probably should be going under a temp code. So, okay. So this is what everybody is calling Colebiopsis subperniosa, right? And I mean, there's a fair amount that have it, including this one from Chile. But we don't have any from the Caribbean that match this sequence, right? The species is described from Jamaica. I have a cat on my lap biting me. Um, could spell it right. Pruinosa. There we go. So, it's a merle species from Jamaica. So, if most of our sequences of this are from the West Coast and Chile, and we don't yet have any Southeast Caribbean sequences to match this, and we have one from Jamaica that is only 90% similar. This is a case where I'm going to probably put a temp coat on this to indicate that I think we might not have the strictest sense species, right? So even Danny calls it out as CF subprunosa, Jamaica, out of an abundance of caution, right? Like, this is not me saying like this is not this. This is just me saying it might not be. Like, that's the whole point of like the temp codes. So we're gonna check the nucleotides real quick, make sure they're good. They're probably good. And we're gonna make a new temp code. This is a good example of why sometimes you need to investigate like why a name started getting applied in the first place. It sometimes like they get applied and then the problem perpetuates in the system, and the earlier we can catch it and stop it from perpetuating, the less things we're going to have to fix in the future. Like, this is one where I'm going to have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 observations to kind of fix this. Um, okay, so this is probably the initial where it came from. Let's look closer. So, fundus. This one is South Korea, which doesn't super help us. Yeah. We've got United States, and this is the ref sequence for it. So Unite is using this as a reference sequence. This one's just a tough one. I think I've actually dug into this paper before. I have dug into this paper before. Let's look at it again, because that's just what we're doing. So So, on the other hand, we have a pretty solid paper. Like, this is a decent paper. I've looked at this paper before. We have a pretty solid paper saying that this does represent prunosis. This is a reference to. I'm not going to make a temp code, but I am going to write a fairly in-depth note on this. Just to kind of get my thoughts across, right? We can always add a temp code later. So, what I'm going to say is now this is an older paper, so maybe there's some new information out there at this point, but I'm not trying to rewrite taxonomy. I'm just trying to make sure that the best names are applied to things. And in this case, we do have, some scientific consensus on what should represent this. Outside of a sequence type, there might not be an answer. So, someone is gonna have to sequence Mural's type, and Mural's type is probably at Florida. And well, let's see where the type is, just out of curiosity. So you can go to microportal.org, and any university that is connected to the Symbiota network is going to have the type specimens indicated. So you can go to here, limited type specimens, and this should tell us if the type specimen is marked properly, which in this case it does not seem to be. Let's try catalog number. Mulan Harris 947. Okay, I can't find it. Either way, I think this is okay for now, but I wrote a book, so at least anybody else looking at this can kind of hopefully reconstruct my thought process. Um, okay, that's a book. So I'm just gonna copy over the first part and then make a note to like check INAT for the rest of the notes because I wrote a book on this one. Um, yeah, definitely a case of me overthinking it, but sometimes I like to go through and kind of think about even the ones that seem like they should be obvious because I have, found instances where there was a wrong name being applied. I feel like it's something we need to be cautious about. We can't eh, you can't really take people's words as gospel, right? You have to um, think about them critically when you're going through things. But in this case, I'm going to call it good. Probably spent more time than I should have on this one, but that's okay. I would rather be precise and avoid issues perpetuating in the system. Of course, micromap's down. I might need to cut this stream short because it looks like micromap is going down. This happens occasionally. Oh, is it working? Yay, it's working. Okay. Whew. Really should like play some music in the background or something, but I'm afraid of I don't know if YouTube will shut a stream down if I play copyright music. Maybe I could play some like vaporwave. Sure that would be fine. see. Maybe for next time I'll set something up. So infundibilicity. Woo, that's a name. Infundibilicity. 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 There you go, it's not too bad. Latin's a dead language. It doesn't matter how you pronounce it. I don't need that. Definitely has some good matches. Let's check the genes. Oh, don't need that. If you're watching and there is anything you'd like me to slow down on or explain, please pipe up in chat. I'm keeping an eye on it. I probably checked this one last time I looked at it, but oh, this one's described from publishes not but based on clip. Hi. Oh no! Internet Archive is currently down, so I can't see the protologue. No! Well, that's not good. I don't know where this is described from. Typification. Plate 4, tab 169. Clitosoby flaccida? Yeah. Alright. This is probably a case of me overthinking things, but that's okay. Like, some species I've definitely come across more in sequencing, so like I'm aware of them, so I don't need to double check them. Oh, you can? Let me look. So show text. Ah, there we go. Yeah, okay, Leningrad. Yeah, I see it. Just trying to. Here, let's pop it out. Alright, let's see. Singer. Okay. Flaccid. Oh, Patty? Paris. I think it's Paris. Yeah, I think it's Paris. Hmm. Okay, it's probably because it's matching the rep sequence, which is from Italy, which is close to the type location-ish. Which, like, Paralipista flaccida. Ah, maybe. No. So it looks like the Clatosobi braccidolana was published as Nomnov, but based on Clatosobi flaccida sensu brezzodola? Cause so. It looks like there was a nom in val in here somewhere. Yeah, it's this one, the sensu braccidola. Like this is the nomen in val that is this infunda blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. Um. So it's not. I don't think it's the same as flaccida because it looks like there is another one that's being called flaccida, and then this one was an invalid name. So. Okay. Uh, I'm not trying to type this name. Hopefully Genbank isn't being a pain. I have a very sleepy cat on my lap, so I'm like limited in mobility. Okay. Yeah, there's barely anything in Genbank for this, so I'm assuming the name came from the ref sequence. That's basically where I'm at with this. There is one ambiguous nucleotide, which is probably going to be... is probably going to bring us in agreement with the ref sequence, or at least close. Oh, nope, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 differences. One's an indel. Yeah. Yeah, confusing stuff like that, it doesn't, I don't see it that much, but it does happen occasionally. Okay. Yeah, not a ton of data on this. Seems to be what we're going by. We're using it for. I'm okay with calling it this. I am gonna actually edit this sequence. It's only one nucleotide, but I'm still gonna do it, but I'm not gonna wait until it reblasts to check it because I'm pretty confident about it. Seriously, like half this job is just waiting for Micromap to load things sometimes. Okay, so once the new blast search is done, I can import to INAT and it'll import the newest blast search with my edited sequence. And then just import my name. Need to put this in the provisional species field because it is not gonna populate automatically on Micromap until BAT updates this, because otherwise it's just gonna show up as that, and we don't want that. And then we just need to, yeah, it's just with that this one ambiguity right here, the Y. So it's like Scott was kind of saying this in the last meeting, like when it's just like a single like YT or like Y that's like a CT, like those are so common that sometimes you can just look at it, and if there's like a T and a Y in the same spot, like that's probably just an ambiguity, but I just like fixing them. It's easier for me to look at the blasts when the ambiguities are kind of in the system and already being adjusted for. Um, more of a big deal when there's a lot more ambiguities than just one, though. Um, like for just one, it's really not that big of a deal. I'm just a pedant and slightly crazy. Really should check. No. So NG species ID, which is it's like the bioinformatics processing program basically. Like there's other people who could probably tell you more details about it than me. It doesn't spit out ambiguous nucleotides. Like it does not spit out ambiguity codes ever, unfortunately. I think Zach at some point may have been working on like something to try to get it to do it automatically, but it's we're just not at that point yet, unfortunately. It's all good. I forgot to check something. Give me a sec. Getting distracted by talking. Yeah, basically. There is an extra quality score for each read in Nanophore. Unfortunately, I can't see that in Eugene, or we haven't figured out how to get Eugene to show it. But yeah, in general, it's going to take the more common of the two nucleotides at that position. I think with weighted for quality score. Which unfortunately we're not waiting for quality score with Eugene because Eugene is a free program. I think Genius shows it, But in this case, you can see that it's 5443. Like, this is, even if a couple of these reads are low quality, it's still pretty, um, a pretty solid, it's almost like a solid 50-50 here. So, okay, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Oof. Don't need that anymore. Okay. So, we have 2 different sequences for this hemimycena. We're gonna check the blasts and see which one is correct. The worst thing about streaming is every time I like get on camera, my nose starts itching. It's like begging me to. It's like intrusive thoughts of me wanting to just like touch my face. Okay, so this is definitely not a fomatopsis, so we're just gonna move that to trash. That's not correct. Here we go. That looks better. Okay. Interesting. So someone made a... Did I do that? I have occasionally come across sequences. I haven't tried to edit one that blasted as a contaminant to pull out the actual reads for the main species, but I have come across a few that were like very, they looked like they were novel at first, but then when you go through and edit the FASTQ, there's like a bunch of contaminant sequences messing up the read. And then and so like that on like higher RIC things, right? It's a high RC, but it's higher RIC because there's like a giant chunk of contam sequences that are messing up the consensus ID. And so once I pulled out the contaminant sequences, it fixed it. I I probably am just going to throw them all in the trash automatically, especially if there's another sequence like this where it's the species we're looking for. Like if it's a rare specimen and we're trying to, and we really want to dig into it, it might be worth pulling out any high RAC contaminant sequences just to see, but outside of like those specific rare cases, I just don't know if I would bother. I think Steven's philosophy on this is that like at some point it's just less of a investment in time just to resequence it than to try to fix a bunch of really garbage sequences. But again, if it's like a special specimen, it might be worth it. What am I doing? Checking this. Okay, cat, don't chew on that. Nope. Cat? Sorry, I have feline problems. Okay. When you have lumps that are fuzzy and they want to play, but they also have knives on the end of their paws, it's it can be problematic sometimes. Aren't you cute? Ah. So I have definitely had some very low RIC ones that I've been able to pull um good sequences out of, like, but you like if it's like below 10, it's kind of, if you can clean it up and it's 100% matched to something, I might go with it, but if it's like 8 RIC and it's showing a bunch of ambiguities, I'm gonna say it needs a rerun. So like, unless it's like 100% match to solid sequences, like below 10, I'm just probably gonna mark it to rerun, because after a certain, under about 30 RIC, the ambiguities start to become a lot less trustworthy. Because when you're that low, like one bad read can throw everything off. Okay. But if it's like a 1 RIC, like anything 1 RIC is just going to get automatically trashed usually. Um, I think, I don't remember what Heart has his auto trash set at. I think OMDL does 8 RIC. Like anything below 8 RIC is just going to automatically be put in the trash. Oh yeah, he's this. Are you laughing at the cat? He's he wants to cuddle, but he also wants to be spicy. So it's weird. He'll chew on my hand and then he'll lick it. Okay. So like this is an instance where it's calling out an N, but I'm not going to bother editing this. Like this is just a homopolymer repeat region. It's not worth editing. It could be a nanopore error. Who knows? Who knows? Um, this is interesting. Yeah, this is CA01. It could be or it might not be. I don't know what's bioinformat. I don't know what's like biologically real in that case, because it's, well, it could be a T or it could be nothing. Like it um like maybe there's a T in that location, but maybe it just, maybe nanopore just struggled to read it properly. Like when you get a big repeating chunk like that, sometimes you'll have like a couple extra base pairs tagged on, and it's like here you can see like this sequence. There's a gap there, but MycoMap is just saying this is not, probably not a real difference. Um, Versus like this, it's saying it might be a real difference because this is not really a homopolymer repeat. And this is a CT, so maybe there's something there, but I have it set high enough, it should have caught that. If there is a difference. Still, we're only 2 nucleotides off. I think it's safe to call it this. I am curious about this one, but that's possibly a hybrid because he said there was 2 fairly different haplotypes. So yeah, yeah, Mike. So that's what the oh cat. So this top number is just like the raw like percent similarity, whereas the number in the parentheses is adjusting for things like hollow polymer repeats that might not be real differences, things like ambiguities, that sort of thing. So that's why there's 2 different numbers, because this one is probably not real. Oh my god, cat. Okay, he needs to go. Go away. He's causing problems. Okay. Sorry, my Spotify has decided to start playing things I didn't ask for, so we're switching it to... Yeah. Oh, he's so freaking spicy. He's just a very mouthy cat. Like, he doesn't bite, but he wants to play, and sometimes he doesn't... Like, playing for him is, occasionally chewing on you. Gently. Or chewing on everything around him gently. Like, he doesn't draw blood, but it... he's still a mouthy cat. Okay. Port. Is it over collected? No. Is it an expansion of the range? No. Would not call this a range extension. Good. Validated. But yeah, pay attention to my tab management, because like tab management is like the biggest thing of this. It's like the biggest thing you have to get used to almost. Because you can really get down like really deep in the weeds with messed up tabs and lose where you are. Okie dokie. I feel like I've got tab stuff down pretty good, but I've also, like, just in general, I don't know, good at technology. I'm perpetually online. It's a problem. Okay. BC Bandini provided sequences. Mm. Just for the sake of it. I'm one of those people that just has tabs open all the time. Like, it it kind of helps me, like, not impulse buy stuff when I'm looking at things online. Like, I'll have a bunch of tabs open. Like, if I see something I want to buy, I'll just leave a tab with it and then think about it. Yeah. See, this is where it gets kind of tricky because, like, there's not a ton of consensus in it. Like, this name is being applied to multiple things. But consensus in Danny's notes seem to be going with this. We do have European sequences. It's a frickin' freeze name, so, like... Oh, there's a neotype. Okay, which one is the neotype? Okay. Okay, sometimes it's just trying to figure out where the flippin' type is, because Micromap doesn't flag them all. Okay. Ah! Haha! That's probably it. Let's check. Stu, SMS, Stu, STUF 0901583. 0901583. Yep, that is the correct type. So this is the correct type for an Ospulacera. So this is an Ospulacera. I am going to check the nucleotides. So this is a free species, but there is a designated neotype for this, which is fantastic. That's what we want to see. But notice, if this is in GenBank, it's not going to show up as a type because... it might show up as a type. That's marked as one. But it's marked as a type in the type studies, but it's not actually marked as a neotype or a holotype down here, so this one might have been manually flagged by someone. I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm used to having a lot of tabs because it helps me prevent impulse buying. I mean, honestly, I'll usually just have like casually. I'll have like YouTube, Facebook, Reddit open all at the same time. Um, like I said, I am perpetually online, and it actually might be a problem. I would probably have to pull up an example to see what you mean. Like just big indels? It's probably a case by case basis, honestly, as to why. Yeah, that's solid. Oh, you mean like the gaps at the front and the back? Or do you mean in like the alignment? Here, let me pull it up again. Give me 1 second, I'll pull it up. As soon as it finishes aligning. It's 500 reads, so it's going to take a second. I see what you're saying. There's probably just some messy reads somewhere that are causing big gaps. Okay. It's still aligning, give it sorry. There we go. Okay, so like it's just there's probably there's locations like this where there's just like a little bit of noise for whatever reason. Like here, right? And sometimes you'll see even bigger gaps than this. It's just like there's a couple reeds peppered in there that have like some garbage noise that isn't super it's not anything we need. Like it's not enough to form a consensus off of. It's just, you know, single reads with a little bit of noise that are causing these gaps. And we don't really need to clean those up just because of the way the consensus works. It would just take a lot of time. Like if you were manually editing something and it wasn't, coming out properly, you could definitely go in and clean those up, but we just don't need to do it. So, does that make sense? Hopefully. Going to assume it makes sense. Heart might be able to give you a more But Steven barely edits sequences though. Like, that's kind of Steven's protocol when he. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. It's not really going to affect the outcome, I guess. Like, how do I say this? I mean, it's kind of why I do the thing I do where I just compare it to the original NG species ID consensus, because it's a little bit of an easier way just to catch differences versus having to like go in and manually edit every sequence until you have like one solid gapless read. It would take too much time to do that for everyone. So I'm kind of splitting the difference and still checking stuff, but not manually editing everything because it would just take forever. Actually, haven't used the remove gap thing. Let's see. Edit. Remove all gaps. Yeah, see, that's what happens when you remove gaps. It unaligns it. It doesn't actually remove any nucleotides. It just unaligns it. So you would have to go in and manually remove all those noise reads if you wanted to have this present gapless, and it's it's not worth it. Not for our purposes, at least. Like, if you're publishing a species, it might be worth it. It is a bit pointless. You don't really need to do it. It might be more necessary for like Sanger stuff, but thankfully we're not using Sanger. Everything takes forever. It's not Snyderi, it's Brunia. Still section to stance though. Yeah. I don't think there's a type for this. There's a type for this. Has a type for this been sequenced? Yeah. Danny does not have his page for Ask a Mycota very filled out. He's working on it. There is FASTA data, but so that's that. I mean, I've looked at these before. I know these are have pretty good consensus, but we're just gonna check anyway because that's the mood I'm in today. Yeah, they're in consensus. Everything in GenBank is in consensus for that. So this is definitely a case of, there's a lot of matches. This is definitely this. And I knew it was going to be because I've looked at a bunch of these. Could probably try to go dig out the type sequence to see, well, type specimen to see if it's been sequenced, but I just don't want to do it right now. It's buried under a bunch of other stuff, probably, if it's even been uploaded. Yeah, a little bit. Yep. Guess I should check for ambiguities. That's gonna be a hollow polymer repeat. See, it's only showing as an N because like these all just tend to tail off at the end here, so I'm not concerned with that one. This does mean that I have to put it in the provisional species field. Oh, also, something I don't think has been mentioned in, I don't know if it's been mentioned yet in the guides, but like, if something is a variety, so say if something comes back as Amanita muscaria variety Gassoii, you have to put that in the provisional species name field because Mycomap won't pull that from the INAC consensus. It's weird. I don't know why it won't, but it won't. So it's something you have to do. Even if everyone agrees that it's that variety, like it just won't auto update properly. It'll just be at, in that case, Amanita muscaria without the variety name. Is this a range extension? Probably not. Nope. No, like it's right here in the record title. It'll only pull it if you have it in the provisional species name. It won't pull it if there's just consensus on here, but not it in the provisional field. I don't know why. It's a Mycomap thing. It's just a quirk of the website. This might be a many in project situation. Ooh, Jarmitra. Let's see if it actually has a sequence. It does. Oh. Maybe. Hmm. See if I've done any mucormycota. This isn't everything I've looked at. This is just the stuff that's passed. Yeah, there are a couple. Yeah. There's definitely a couple that I've looked at. No, not that short. Mm. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Um, like maybe it. I would probably have to look at it. I'm not sure. Yeah, like that's not particularly short. It's not particularly short. Why is it not? Mucoromycota. Goodness. Mucoro. There we go. I mean, so there's a fair bit of things in Mucoromycota that have ITS data on iNaturalist, so you could go through these and see. Yeah, this guy has a lot of nice culture photos. I have a couple culture photos on my iNat. I actually made a project for him, but I haven't had a chance to really update it that much. Like, yeah, so I made this project, and at some point when I get really bored, I want to just find a bunch of pictures of uh like observations that have cultures on them and get them in the project. I just haven't gotten around to doing it, but I really should do that. Look at that. Freaky. Glomus. Glomeromycota. Okay, there are a couple. Mm, not like crazy short, but they're short-ish. Yeah. They're definitely not common, but Anyway, back to looking at sequences. Nope, don't want that. No, it's fine. Not a big deal. Okay, this is the one that Danny Miller has marked as a holotype, so I'm going to mark this as a type. Okay. Yeah, this is why you kind of have to like think about things because like the types aren't always marked. And last time I looked at this group, it doesn't look like it was in the annotations, but now it is on this one. So yeah, it's ambigua. Okie dokie. I'm going to guess that those spikes are going to be the differences between this and the holotype. It's my guess. It's my hypothesis. We'll find out. Or it's a frame shift. It's probably a frame shift. Okay. Yeah. So this is a good example of sometimes nanopore just is funky, right? I've run into these occasionally. And if I still had it set at 60, it actually wouldn't be catching these, but I have it set at 70 now, so it's showing up. But like this is more of a frame shift than it is like this is an alignment error, or it's what I would call like an alignment error, because you can take like you can manually play around with the alignment on this. And as I go through and like fix this up a little bit, it's gonna end up aligning fairly well, right? And it's just like again, this is like an issue with the hollow polymers. Like it just struggles with reading hollow polymers sometimes. Um, but ultimately, this like aligns pretty well, and it just does not need those ambiguities, right? Like I'm only really doing this to kind of show what's going on here. Like I could go down and fix this entire thing, but even just that little bit has already fixed up these two columns, so they're not showing up as R anymore. So this one isn't showing up as R anymore. I mean, I can keep doing it. It's gonna fix it basically. So are the ambiguous positions genetically real on this? Maybe, but I'm erring on the side of alignment issue here. So I'm just not gonna. So this would be one case where I would actually go back here and replace the disagreement with what it initially agreed to, because this looks like an alignment error. It always seems to happen with G, A repeating regions. It seems to be the most common place I see that happening. But which one did I say was the holotype? Control R. Yeah, it's Control R is the hotkey to manually replace. Nope. So I'm just here. I'll show you the next alignment. I'll do it a little slower next time. So that's the holotype. One base pair off of that. Kind of a messed up looking Gyromitra ambigua, but why are there some in Finland? What the heck? What's the justification here? I'm not gonna worry about it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to see when this was described. I'm being weird. Gyro meet ambigua. Is this a holotype? That's not a holotype. Why did I say that was a... No, that's not a holotype. I'm in the weeds. I'm overthinking this. I'm 100% in the weeds right now. But I don't think this is a holotype. I marked it and I shouldn't have. I hate when everyone's like, yes, it matches the holotype sequence without like linking to it. Like, How do you have it? Where did you get it? Post it. It's fine. We're just going with it. We're going with it. It's fine. It's fine. We're all fine. Oh, it's Alden. Okay. It says it's his holotype. It says it matches the holotype, so whatever. It's fine. I'm not going to overthink it too much. I'm going to try to stop overthinking it too much. Okay. I'm over it. I'm in the weeds. We're getting out of the weeds. So what are we gonna do? No. J- Okay. All right. So replacing nucleotides. I will show you the next one I pull up here. Once it finishes thinking. Maybe. Could be frothy pork crust. I hate these like 500 read FASTQ files, because like even with my computer being a pretty fast computer, it takes forever to align them. I probably need to get some more RAM, but like I can run Cyberpunk on near max settings with my PC setup, so the fact that it slows it down is kind of silly. Okay, so I don't need to replace anything here, but I'm just going to show you. So to replace a nucleotide, you just hit, so you hit, sorry, is it Shift R? Yeah, it's not Control R, it's Shift R. So you click on the nucleotide you want to replace, and then you hit Shift R, and it'll kind of start blinking like that. And then you just type in whatever you want to place it with. So if I think this should be a Y instead, I would hit Y. If I think it should be a C, I hit Shift R T, Shift R G. That's just kind of lets me change it. Does that make sense? Ah. Oh, goodness. You're welcome. EU, Eastern North America, and Pacific Northwest sequences match. Yes. So there's a document that he has, a conserve sequences document. You don't really need to know it. It's useful occasionally, but it's basically he cuts. This is where he's going to cut pretty much every time. I think he's going to share this with everyone. It's in the Slack, but this is just kind of a list of, commonly used conserved sequences for stuff. And then he's got a note of where he trims everything. So I don't like have it memorized, but I have this document if I ever need to pull it up. No, it does not. This top, so this, what heart is uploaded here is the trimmed sequence. Is what it. So like with the like the FASTQ document? Do you mean? So here, I'll show you. Yeah. So like this right here, yeah, it doesn't, no. So this right here is the ITS1 primer sequence. He trims after ITSF1 primer. So I think he trims right after this sequence, which is a little before it. Oh no. Yeah, that has been manually trimmed. So the consensus, this copy, this is a manually trimmed sequence. I mean, and by manually trimmed, I don't know if Heart, like how Heart tells it to trim stuff. Like it might be he probably tells it to trim there. Basically, what I'm saying is that's probably a Hart question or a Kyle question. Like one of the sequencer guys who deals with the bioinformatics a little more than I do. It's the best answer I have. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's going through every single one and manually trimming it, but he's probably telling it to trim things right there. He probably has a script to do it. Now, these are all pretty harmonious. Did I? Nope. Let me export that. Hopefully you're absorbing some information while I do this. We barely have any in the project. Nope. I might keep this going till like 4 and then pop off. I'm thinking that's what I'll do. There's only so much you can look at sequences before your eyes start to glaze over. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, of course. Anytime. Of course. Okie doke. Thank you. Those are weirdly close. Please load. Come on. If this doesn't load, I might just cut it now because Mycomap is struggle busing. Happens on occasion. We'll refresh it one more time, and if it doesn't work, we're gonna just call it, I think. Yeah, micromap's just down. Okay, sorry guys. I need to stop this, I guess. Thanks for coming. Hopefully some of this was informative. Have a great day.